Hello guys, I'm Naveen Kumar Tiwari and we'll be continue our discussion with logic in our course, that is discrete mathematics and logic. Okay, so let us continue our notes. Okay, so today we'll start with our law of contrapositive. What is contrapositive? So contrapositive comes in the context of implication. So what is implication? We have already covered, and along with the basic operators as well, which were conjunction, disjunction, implication, and by implication. And their two tables we have already covered in the previous. Now, let us start with the law of contrapositive. So, what is contrapositive? First of all, implication we all aware about. So, the implication is involves two operands, that is P and Q, and an arrow pointing from input to output. So, it would be read as P implication Q. Now, there its converse would be Q implication P. Means we simply swap the operands. And what would be the inverse? Inverse would be simply negate those operands. That is P implication Q. Its inverse would be negation of P implication negation of Q. And similarly, the contrapositive, we not only negate the operand, but we also swap. So we'll further see that an implication is equivalent to its contrapositive, and converse of an implication is equivalent to inverse of that implication. You can verify it via truth table as well. We have already covered how to verify the truth table and logic formulas. Okay. So continuing the discussion, let us see this with an example. And we have implication. So suppose there is an implication. If it is cold, then I stay at home. So here P can be called as it is cold, and Q would be I stay at home. Okay. So the P would be if it is cold, and you can observe the if and then sign here, and the Q would be I stay at home. Now let us see its various form. So uh, the converse would be what? We change the operand. We swap the operand. So the converse would be Q implication P, means if I stay at home, then it is cold. And similarly, the inverse would be in the inverse, we don't swap the operands. We only negate them. So the inverse would be if it is not cold, then I will not stay at home. Okay. Uh, while negating those premises, you can simply follow the English grammar. And finally, the contrapositive would be we negate the operand as well as we swap their position. So if I will not stay at home, then it is not cold. Logically, if you see with an example, you can clearly see the similarity between the implication and its contrapositive, and uh, converse and inverse. So we have our two basic rule that we have seen here. So an implication is always equivalent to its contrapositive, and a converse is always equivalent to its inverse. All right. So using these rules that we have simply defined here, it can be checked via truth table. So we have already covered how to check the truth table and how to validate the two expressions. You can see with an example, and how to draw the truth table and how to find those logic we have already covered. Now let us see the exportation law. What is exportation law? It involves the nested implications. What is nested application? Implication of an implication. Here we can see implication of already implicated expression. Okay, so the first implication is Q implication R, and these whole things is now will be treated as output, and we have combined this with another variable P, and now we have P implication Q implication R. Okay, so we have nested implication. So these rule states that a nested implication is equivalent to conjunction of first two variable implication R implication third variable. So how are we going to prove here? See, this is very important. So implication, we can see that an implication P implication Q is equivalent to what? Negation of P what? Disjunction. Yeah, disjunction is or disjunction Q. This is Q. Okay. So P implication Q is also equivalent to saying negation of P disjunction Q. We have already covered this in the previous lecture. So I'll encourage you to pause this video and go and verify. It is also given in the notes as well. So you can verify. Okay. So now we can see what. So what we first do is we change implication to its conjunction or disjunction equivalent, which is equivalent to saying negation of P, means negation of first variable and combined with disjunction. Okay, so you can see disjunction sign coming here, and the rest would be untouched. Now the similar thing that we have done with the outer implication, we will do with this one, Q implication R. So it would become negation of Q disjunction R, and now we have combined, and we while converting an expression from one form to another form, it would be highly encourageable to mention on what rules are we changing its form. So here we have seen the implication rule. Okay, now we have negation of P, disjunction negation of Q, disjunction R. So let us combine negation of P, or let us put together negation of P and negation of Q. Okay, so let us put this in a bracket: negation of P, disjunction negation of Q, and this is combined with another disjunction and the leftover variable, that is R. We also know that this is an associative property that we have already covered in the previous. Now, using the De Morgan theorem, I would encourage you to pause this video and go check what is De Morgan law. So De Morgan law is simply how to apply the negation inside a bracket and vice versa. So here the negation was based on negation were put on the individual variables, and now we have to combine and put the negation out of this bracket. So what would we do is apply the De Morgan's law. So De Morgan's law is simply we put a single both the negation out as a single negation, and very important, the sign would be changed. Means previously it was disjunction, now it would become conjunction. And now we can see, let us see this with only two things: the first operand disjunction, the second operand, okay, and the negation of first operand. So what would become, what this become is, it would simply become as P implication Q, means P conjunction Q implication R, which was the outcome that we wanted to prove. Now we are done. Let us continue the discussion forward. So since it's in a node and you can find you can see the outcome in advance. So we need to verify whether these two expressions are equivalent. Means the first one and second. So how to verify? It is very easy to break an implication and combine whenever it suits you. So finally, take the LHS part, and I would encourage you to go without me dictating how to do it. And we can simply break the negation. We can simply break the negation inside, and then combine and collect all those terms that we needed to prove here, and see there is an implication. So what should we do is we take negation of P disjunction this entire. Only this way you can prove. Okay. So we already have negation of P. So that is very good. And the second part is P conjunction R. Okay. So the negation of P is combined with the other term using a disjunction, which is very much our implication in another form, in disjunction form. Okay. So we put the implication sign here, and the entire thing come down as a cop. Now we can simply see that this is not the thing that we will have to verify. The sign is changed. It means this is not equivalent to the RHS we got is not equivalent to LHS. So this is incorrect. Okay. Similarly, I would encourage you to go with the second formula here. So let us see that as well. Okay. So in a similar way, you can break the implications here. And now notice that in both the sub implications, there was a common term P. All right. So how to proceed with this one? How to proceed with this one? Just a second. See, the sign here is changed. Now, see here, the expressions are almost same. Instead, we have here and here sign change with the first formula that we have already discussed. So I encourage you to go on your own with this and try to disprove. Okay. So now let us see the more equivalences and coming down to our by implications. Okay, so by implication is what? Simply P by implication Q. It simply means there is a two-way implication. It means the conjunction of two implications. Means P implication Q conjunction Q implication P. It simply means the conjunction of the conjunction of implication and its converse. This is known as what? By implication. All right. Now, so by implication means simply this. And since we already know that implication can be broken down to its another form, so that's what exactly we have done here. So implication is broken down to its negation of first operand, disjunction the second operand, and you can clearly see that this is also equivalent to negation of P by implication negation of Q. What we need to do is simply shuffle those operands according to what we have to prove here. It means there should be a negation of P, there should be negation of P implication Q and whole thing in conjunction with negation of P, sorry, uh, that would be a two-way thing. So this would be negation of P, implication negation of Q, and similarly negation of Q, implication negation of P. Okay, since we already know that an implication is equivalent to its contrapositive, that is what exactly I have written here. Okay, so in this way we can easily verify the implications and its various forms. Okay, so here we can see how the and let us try to find out negation of P implication Q. It means we put a negation outside of by implication and try to see whatever we have got inside. Okay, so let us break into two implications and then to convert them into first operand disjunction second operand. Okay, and now let's shuffle those negations here and there. So using De Morgan's law, applying De Morgan's law here, we can see we can put out a negation outside of the second bracket. So this is what we got with the second term. Similarly, that can also be done. Similar thing can also be done with the first operand. And now we have this one. You can pause and verify this expression. Okay, so in this way we can find out the negation of any particular operators or any particular expressions. Now, let us define a set. What a set? A functionally complete set. Functionally complete set means we can define the functionally complete set is simply a set of connectives that can be said as functionally complete if every composed propositions can be expressed in terms of only those connectives. So might you have seen and or and not gate in your intermediate, maybe in the basic switching theory or digital logic. So that were complete set. Okay, so with having only conjunction or disjunction with a negation is not complete. Means we cannot have all the possible. Okay, so all right. So let us visualize these things from a different perspective. We already know what is a De Morgan theorem. All right, it means we can simply observe negation of any operand, any expression. Negation of any expression is equivalent to negation of individual negation of the first operand and the change of sign. Means here we have conjunction, on the other hand disjunction, and then the second individual operator, second individual negation of second operators. Okay, so we can simply see that we can have either conjunction with a negation or disjunction with a negation that we can also use to prepare any expression, or simply say any premises, any with these two connectives as well, because these are interchangeable. Using conjunction with a negation can be replaced with a disjunction and a negation. So these are two minimally functionally complete set. Okay, so without having negation, can we form all kind of expression or all kind of premises? No, it's not possible. we have to have negation with either conjunction or disjunction or both. That is the one way to find a functionally complete set. Means these are the connectives that can be used to generate or can express any kind of uh, logical expressions. Okay, so the other connective is exclusive or, means we simply put a bar over a disjunction like this, or in the words we can replace this as exclusive or in the Boolean algebra this same symbol is used to represent the exclusive or, means plus inside a circle. Okay, this is exclusive or, and what it means, what is the truth table of exclusive or is, for if simply put, exclusive or returns true if all the truth value are different. It means we can either have true false or false true, that would be returned as true in outcome. But if you have both the operands assigned a true value, then the resultant would be false. Similarly, if we assign false values to both the operands, the outcome would be false. Okay, so similarly, we have a NAND connective. We have a NAND. There are various other connectives which is exclusive or, which is not more logical to our needs. This is exclusive or and exclusive NOR are more suited to Boolean algebra and binary arithmetic. Okay, so there is another connective here. We can see is NAND operation. NAND is what? Simply not of and what was the equivalent of AND is, that is conjunction. Okay, so negation of conjunction is also known as NAND, and we can simply put a straight downward line from just below the conjunction sign. This is known as NAND operator. And how to define this truth value is, okay, so as said earlier, this is the negation of conjunction. Means first we have to find the conjunction and negate all those values. Okay, so in the conjunction this might have been true because both the values are true, but if you take the negation of that conjunction, that would become the false. That would become false or first outcome. And in every other case, if there is a single false assignment, the AND or the conjunction would return a false, but negation of conjunction would be true. So rest of the values are true. Simply put, if any of the outcome is false, the outcome of NAND operator is true. You can pause the video and verify it again. Okay, so this is equivalent of NAND operation, NAND operator. Okay, now we have got some results here. Let us verify those results. Okay, so it is saying that NAND of an operand with itself is negation of P. How is that? This is very straightforward and very simple. Let's not delve into too much into it. So this is very straightforward and very simple. Okay, using the idempotent law we have already covered. You can verify this. Similarly, this is a multiple NAND operation. Means first P NAND Q and then P NAND Q. Again, this is put with a connective NAND. So how to achieve this? This is simply saying this is equivalent to P conjunction Q. And how to verify that? How to verify that? Using the NAND connectives just discussed on the previous page, we can simply change into it, or using these rules, we can simply combine the similar two arguments into one, and then put a negation. We simply replace the NAND with a conjunction followed by a negation, and finally we can see the negation of a negation, that is which law. When in the live class, I would simply ask you, but here you can answer in the comment section. Okay, now there is another rule. Now simply see this, that first we combine P with NAND of itself, and then we combine Q with NAND of itself, and we are trying to find out a NAND of the resultant, which would be simply saying that it is P disjunction Q. We can all the rules we have studied, you can see here, this is a negation of P simply, this is a negation of Q simply, and we try to find out the NAND of these two, then replace the NAND with a conjunction and an entire negation beside out of the bracket. This would be negation of P disjunction Q, simply put negation P disjunction Q. So this is very straightforward. And now, NOR. What is NOR? There was exclusive OR, there is also an operator called exclusive NOR, which is simply an arrow downwards. So how is that? So this is simply taking NAND operator was conjunction followed by a negation. This is what disjunction followed by a negation. So simply put, if any of the input assignment is true value, then our outcome is false. So here we have both the outcome is true. So P or Q would be true, and its negation would be false. So exclusive OR returns a false value. Similarly, here we have true value, here we have true value. So the outcome would be false and false. Finally, we have false and false. So the assignment would be true. Now let us move to the final formula. So as a result, what more formulas that we got here is NAND of itself, NAND of an operator, again NANDed with another operator. Similarly, similar rules that we have seen with an AND operator, now we are going to observe with an NOR operator, and we can simply observe the sign here. Signs are different. Okay. Now the smallest, we have already defined what is functionally complete set is. So the minimal number of operator set that can be used to represent any kind of propositional logic. So the NAND and NOR are universal functionally complete set. So the NAND and NOR operator would be smallest minimal functionally complete set. Means using this single any of the operators, mean either NAND or NOR, we can use these only operators to represent any kind of propositional logic. Or in Boolean algebra, these two gates, means NAND and NOR, can be used to reconstruct or construct any possible Boolean functions. Okay, so let us stop here with the logic part. So we have covered this, the logic, basic logic, and some of the connectives. Now we'll see the more in upcoming lecture. Thank you.